Chris, what's your thoughts on the game and how it all played out in the end?
Well, we have a very high regard for the opposition, and I think it's really difficult to tell who the best teams in the comp are, and it's changing and will change month to month, I suspect. But certainly their last game against the team on top of the ladder sort of speaks to where they are and what they can do. And the conditions made the game a bit of a slog at times, so it became a game of will as much as a game of method. But I thought as the game went on, we adapted better. I thought they had control of sort of that battle for a while, of playing the conditions the right way. And we felt for big parts of the game things were just going against us. Not going to be specific, except the Jeremy Cameron one, when you lose one of your best players so early, especially in those circumstances. It can put everyone on the back foot. And I thought in some ways, especially Gary Rohan, who was really rattled by it, as one would expect. But his approach and maturity to really attack the game. And if anyone won the game for us, it was him. So I'm really proud of him, and others as well, because as I said, I'm not going to go into the other specifics, but it just felt like things went against us a little bit. And when that happens and you can find a way to win the game, coaching feels good.
How is Jeremy, Chris?
I don't really know. He has been taken to hospital, and that can sound dramatic. But I haven't got an update yet. That'll come in time. But I certainly haven't had any indication that it's a horrible situation. But anytime one of your players needs to be taken to hospital, even if it's for observation, leaves us all a bit shaken.
You mentioned Gary Rohan, he was huge in that last quarter. What does it say about his mental ability to, I guess, put that out of his mind when it wasn't his fault, but you'd be thinking about it, and then to deliver in that last quarter in particular and kick huge goals to basically win you the match? Yeah,
I mean, I can't really speak to how other people see him, so I'll just speak about the way I've seen him since he came to our club. He is so willing to play his role, and it's a role that is hard for some people on the outside to understand. And I don't just mean on the field as well, the way he is around the club. He's someone that I admire, and he's so likeable, and when he's finally, it feels to me like he's having a few moments like this. Like I don't generally individualise. Tom Stewart's probably pretty good, so he had some competition, but to my eye, Rohan was the most dangerous player on the ground, and because he is the person that he is, it did rattle him, and I kind of respect him more for that, because he's not a sociopath. He's got some empathy for one of his best friends who he's accidentally knocked out. And so the way he could refocus on what the team needed was very admirable.
It felt like, as he said, that second and third quarter, Melbourne started to sort of get their way around the ball a little bit more, and then that last quarter you turned it around. What did you see in that last quarter to win those crucial contests and pull away from them?
I thought Stanley was really good. The combination of Stanley and Blitzards was really good against seasoned players. Gorn in particular, and Petraka and Viney in there are just outstanding players. I think the whole world knows that, and we fully expected that there'd be times where their midfield would get their way. That tends to happen in all their games. The challenge for the opposition is to make sure it doesn't happen for the whole game. And in the last quarter, I thought our guys fought the fight in there really well. And we were able to set the ground up in such a way that when we did go forward, our forwards looked dangerous.
Chris, what does it say about so many of your younger guys or unheralded guys that they stepped up tonight when you're missing so many figureheads?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity, and I think we're focusing probably mainly in our midfield. I thought Tanner Bruin was fantastic. Jack Bowes has come back. Jack was a loss to us when he hurt his calf and missed a month or so. Ollie Henry, we've been really clear. Our expectation was never they're going to come in and improve us straight away. They're a long-term play for us. but we're not asking them to be patient. We want them to let themselves go and show the world what they can do. And I thought those three in particular had really good moments throughout the game. You know, it's difficult. Like Cam Guthrie and Paddy Dangerfield are our Petrarca and Oliver. Like it's so you're not wishing for it, but there is a silver lining there. Those guys can come in, and it's not the first game this year when the game's been on the line that you know, Bruin and others have been in there needing to stand up.
In a similar age bracket, I thought Koning was one of the best players in the game in the first half. He's been building since he came back from that facial injury. Is he sort of becoming the player we saw last year a little bit more as he finds his feet this year after sort of a rough first 10 weeks?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we generally don't explain in great detail the preparation of our players. We think that's sort of commercial in confidence in a way. But I'm prepared to explain a little bit more some of the hurdles that Sam's had to overcome. The facial fracture was one, but he had a concussion before that. He had a series of injuries through the pre-seasons. He's just never really got going. And I probably didn't include him in that group because I regard him as an all-Australian level player. Like he's not building. He's at his best. He's there. So I thought tonight was a really good step forward. It's still going to take a little bit of time, I think, with him to get to his best. But that's a nice prospect if he can improve on tonight.
Chris, you come into the game, lost 4 of your past 5. You beat the reigning premiers after being down by 7 at three-quarter time. How significant of a confidence booster is it for this group at this point of the year?
We're the reigning premiers. Yeah. Is that what you meant?
Sorry, yes, Mel, yes.
Yeah, the previous year.
Yes,
yeah.
sorry.
Because I haven't forgotten, I'm still... I'm trying to move on, but I'm not letting that
Won
one...
a premiership fancy this year.
No, I'm being a smart aleck.
No,
I apologise.
I got it wrong.
No. But I think, you know, if they're not the best team in the comp, they're in the conversation, aren't they? Their ladder position, you know, is reflective of their quality. To your question, you know, the previous month or so, yeah, we didn't accept that it was going to be lumpy, but we thought it was a possibility. And I just think, when I break my own rule and kind of look at the draw, other teams as well, and look forward a little bit, I think, I hate gambling and I don't do footy tipping, but I kind of don't envy the people that do. It's kind of, I feel like I'm an expert in the game and I look forward and I think, I don't know who's going to win that game. The competition's in really good shape, so it's daunting in one respect, but it's also an opportunity as well because teams will lose games throughout the year, even the really good teams. And so what we need to stay optimistic about is that so it's probably an if, we get to our best footy, then we can beat all of them. I still think that's the case.
What's your likelihood of getting Dangerfield next week?
Well, it's sort of hard to say. Like he would have played tonight, but he needs to be saved from himself. But the good news is the medical staff have said the reason for him not playing tonight will be not a concern, even in the next couple of days. So that's more around his lung issue. So, you know, the other associated sort of pain, he would have been cleared to play with that tonight. But I've got to say, I just have no appetite. I normally don't get involved in this, but I just have no appetite to put players out there under duress. I think it's a relic of the past, that stuff. So our medical staff are going to have to do a great job of convincing me that he's okay to play. Thanks a lot. Thank you.